All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome in. Farzin Vasukin here with you for another episode of the Pregame Live Chat. Yes, we are just a little 4 hours away from kickoff. Chiefs, Jaguars. That's the first Monday Night Football game of the season for Kansas City, and I think it's going to be a good one. I do think it's going to come down to the wire. I'm going Kansas City in this one, 23-20. I'm getting a lot of questions about in terms of like playmakers who people think are going to be good and all. In fact, let's do this. I've never done this before. Let's look at DraftKings. Let's see if you want to build a same game parlay. What should you go with? Because I have some ideas as to what might happen here. Let me first off start off with Travis Hunter, because a lot of people are asking about him. I think the problem with Travis Hunter is in a couple of games this year, he's focused on offense and defense. Travis Hunter going up against Kansas City's defense, I think, will be an issue for him. And then Travis Hunter, from a defensive standpoint, going up against Kansas City speed, which Xavier Worthy is expected to play in this one. I think he's going to have a difficult time. I don't think he can keep up with all the speed that Kansas City has on the offensive side there. Now, I will say this. One player I really like from the Jaguars is Travis Etienne. Now, I have not looked. I've not even built my same game parlay yet. I'm going to do it in a moment. But if there was one player that I thought could end the streak of holding running backs to below 100 rushing yards against the Chiefs, I would guess Travis Etienne Jr. could maybe break that in this game. I think he's got a chance. So I don't know what his over-under is for rushing yards. I'm going to look right now for the first time. Let's see. Rushing yards over-under. There it is. They break it up. 66.5. I'm going over on that one. If the Jaguars aren't down by 2 possessions, then Travis Etienne Jr. can have a 100-yard rushing game against Kansas City. The thing about Jacksonville is they've got to keep it close with the Chiefs. And I think the way they do that is utilizing the running game. They've got great run blockers, not just with their offensive line, but with some of their running backs and tight ends. And I think that's going to make a big difference here in allowing Travis Etienne to have a really good game today. So I would bet that Travis Etienne would get 100 yards. Listen, the whole thing with not allowing a running back to run for 100 yards in 30 straight games, that's great. That has to end at some point. You're wearing the same shirt. Great minds think alike. Or what do people say? Twinning. I think that's another thing that the people like to throw out there. You're working, and you're watching me. I appreciate it. Thank you. What do you think about the Eagles and Bills? That shit was funny. The Eagles one was, well, they're both pretty surprising because the Eagles were up 17-3 at halftime or whatever the score was. Or not halftime, fourth quarter. The Bills, that one I did not think the Patriots had a chance. And the Bills won that game. When I was putting together my parlay for NFL Sunday, I was really confident in that game that it would go the Bills' favor. Now, Eagles fans seem to be just fine, at least from what I've seen. But Bills fans, dude, I don't think there's a table to break in Buffalo. I think they're all broken. Bills fans are having a meltdown. Guys, right hand to God right now. What I'm about to tell you, I'm not making shit. You guys think I make shit up sometimes. I'll talk about how a fan base is reacting based off what I've seen on social media. And people say, oh, you're just making shit up. And I'll tell people, I won't even link them. I'll tell them what to do because it's easy to do. I'll tell people, go to Twitter or X, whatever you call it, and search certain keywords, and you'll see the list of people and the reactions that they provide. They're like, oh, you were right. So for whatever reason, you guys think I make shit up. People think I made up the Xavier Worthy ankle injury thing. Like, you guys are weird sometimes. Just some of you, not all of you. Just to be clear. Honest to God, I turned on whenever I watch a primetime game or something big that happens on any NFL game. I like to turn on the sports talk station that's doing postgame for that city just to get the reaction. So I'm listening to Sports Talk Radio in Buffalo. The first caller, they dropped him in 5 seconds because he started cursing. And then the second caller lashed out at the radio host. They're like, why do you not call out the organization? Because they need to bring in better players and they need to be more like the Chiefs and the Eagles. This is what a Bills fan said on Sports Talk Radio in Buffalo. Dude, that fan base, they are not taking that L very well. They are not. Like they are having a meltdown in Buffalo. I mean, I thought Cincinnati fans were down. Dude, that fan base, Cincinnati fans, they're like fighting with each other. They're like calling out other fans. Hey, why'd you sell your tickets to Lions fans? Which I think is funny because when you put your tickets up for sale, you have no idea who's going to buy your ticket. But dude, Bills fans are not handling this loss very well. They are not. What do I know, man? Bills fans, they know more football than Chiefs fans. So 34-24 or 30-24, 27-17. Okay. All right. Some people think it's going to be close. Some think it's going to be a 2-score game. Social says it's going to be interesting to see the Chiefs offense this week. Ravens defense is one step above hot garbage. Yeah, and I've been saying that all week. I know a lot of people have pushed back against me this week, saying that Jacksonville's defense, yeah, sure, they've got all these nice things, but they've been going up against bad offenses. Sure. But here's the other thing, too, because I said this about the Colts. Okay, Jacksonville, yeah, they haven't played anyone good. They played a Joe Burrow-led Bengals team for a quarter and a half. At the same time, did you, even knowing that schedule, did you still think the Jaguars were going to be as good, at least lead the league in interceptions and takeaways? Even though we knew what Indianapolis' schedule was going to be, did any of us expect the Colts to be this good this early? I did not. I certainly didn't. I think you just got to give credit where credit's due. If I don't care how easy a schedule is, if you did not expect that team to be where they are right now, then you got to give them credit. You got to show some respect there. I think we got to give the Jaguars some props because leading up to this game, not only have they been winning a majority of their games, they're 3-1 coming into this one, but their defense has been great this season. Who's the linebacker? I don't have his name in front of me, but Devin Lloyd. I almost said Tevin Lloyd. Devin Lloyd, reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Month and AFC Defensive Player of the Week. He had 2 picks last week. He's leading the league in interceptions coming into week 5, which is almost wrapped up. But this defense, you've got to account for guys. And the guy on their defense, I mean, Eric Armstead, he's got 2.5 sacks. He's one of the better defensive tackles, in my opinion. Josh Hines-Allen has been very quiet this season. He's got to get going at some point. Would they put him up against Josh Simmons, a rookie? Would not surprise me if they tried to challenge him in this game using Hines-Allen. But this is a solid defense. Do they have some weaknesses? Yes, they do. And I'm curious to see how Kansas City's offense with Xavier Worthy back, and he is expected to play today. How is this offense going to match up against a better defense? Because I do agree with you, Social. Yeah, the Ravens defense, that's not a good measuring stick. And listen, you don't ever apologize for winning. The Ravens, yeah, they're a mess. What the Chiefs did to the Ravens, that's what you're supposed to do. That's what any good offense is supposed to do. Can they not necessarily put up 37 points again, but can they move the ball and play well as a unit against a better defense? Because if they can do that and they can come out with a win, I'm going to tell you the Chiefs are back. Because I've been telling you guys for a while, I don't think the Chiefs are back yet. I think they're very, very close. You're at the grocery store, Danny. Well, shout outs to you. What's Worthy status? I assume you meant status and not stats. He is expected to play. So I guess his ankle swelled up at some point yesterday, and getting off the plane, he dealt with some of the swelling. He looked okay coming off the flight, but I'm not going to judge someone out based off like a 1 second social media clip of them. But he is expected to play. He's expected to be okay. That's the good news. Anytime, just understand this. Even if it's for the tiniest little boo-boo, when you visit the trainer, you're on the injury report. To my understanding, that's how that works. Now, if a player is hiding like a knee injury, which they should never do, but if they do, and the training staff doesn't know about it, that's not on the team. That's on the player. So the players are told, not just on the Chiefs, across the NFL, if you're dealing with even the smallest, most minor injury, visit the trainer, go visit the training staff, because you never want it to be anything worse. And that's why he's on the injury report. They listed him as questionable because they didn't have practice. They didn't know how he would look, but that was more precautionary than anything else. So he is expected to play. New England reaction was like they won the Super Bowl after the Buffalo win. Yeah, because New England would never know what it's like to win a Super Bowl, ever. Right? Right? Daniel says 27-24. Philip 26-17. Okay. JR says the meltdown in Buffalo. Who would have thought? Yeah, of all fan bases. You know what's funny about Buffalo is every single freaking year, they're like, oh, this is our year. We're going to win. And then when the Chiefs beat them in the playoffs for the 4th time, of all 4 of those times, they're like, oh, that's because Mahomes has talent around him and Josh Allen doesn't. Okay, but before the game, you predicted Josh Allen would beat Patrick Mahomes. You predicted the Bills would beat the Chiefs. But when the Chiefs beat the Bills, all of a sudden it's, oh no, Josh Allen did not have the talent he needed. I remember when the Chiefs beat the Bills in Buffalo, the one where Tyler Bass missed the field goal. They predicted the Bills would win. Bills fans did, which I would expect them. Why wouldn't they? But then after the game, it's, oh, our defense was not ready. You weren't saying that 3 hours ago. You weren't saying that before the game. I just got a Bills fan today on Twitter telling me, oh, the Bills have been dealing with injuries. No shit. Everyone's dealing with injuries. Find me one team that has 0 injuries this year. The Chiefs have been dealing with it. They've been without Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy for most of the season so far. Dude, miss me with that shit, man. I don't care what injuries your favorite team is dealing with. Just gets annoying after. Can't you tell I'm a little annoyed? Just a little. Just a little. 27-13, Nerd Life says, Richard says Jax is a decent team, but they have overachieved a bit. I don't know what overachieved means in this sense here, but you know, if you're 3-1, you're 3-1. You can't ever apologize for winning. Did not expect the Colts to be that good. See, that's my point, Kathy. Like, if you don't expect the team to be that good, and yes, the Colts do have an easy schedule, but none of us, not even the most blind Colts homer, expected the Colts to be where they are right now. So I've always said you got to give these teams props. You got to give these teams their credit, because if you did not expect them to be where they are now, then surely they've impressed you at this point. Now, could it come back to haunt them come playoff time if they're not better prepared against better quality teams? Sure. But in the meantime, that's not what we're dealing with. Hopefully Taylor doesn't set us back tonight. I had to think which Taylor you were talking about for a second. Isn't that so funny? That's what this dynasty's been about, man. When the name Taylor is mentioned in a negative sense, I have to stop and think, wait, which Taylor are they talking about? The pop star or the penalty guy? I think it's the penalty guy. Do you expect Hunter to do anything on offense? If Travis Hunter is going to have a good game, is it going to be on offense or defense? I think he'll have a much easier time on offense. Like, the dude is a freakishly talented athlete. There's no question about it. He's gotten off to a really slow start. And I think with Spags' defense and with how good Kansas City secondary has been this year, the Chiefs' defense they're doing a lot of things this year, specifically the defensive backs, that are not showing up on the stat sheet. Noel Williams, Trent McDuffie, Brian Cook, Jalen Watson. These defensive backs for the Chiefs are playing really good, similar to 2023, where they just played great coverage that year, and you're seeing a lot of that this season. Something that I feel like this defense missed last year, and they're doing a way better job of it this year. And I think, not to get too much into it right now, but I think it does put the Chiefs in a bit of a tough situation with what they want to do with guys like Brian Cook, Trent McDuffie. I know he's got the 50-year option, but the Chiefs, Jalen Watson, they have some difficult decisions to make as to who they want to keep and who they want to move on from when it's off-season time, whenever free agency gets underway. To answer your question, though, Cape, I don't expect Travis Hunter to be a guy who moves the needle for the Jaguars, because I think they're going to focus more on the run game. I don't think you want Trevor Lawrence going in a battle with Patrick Mahomes, arm versus arm here. I think you'd rather have Travis Etienne Jr. help lead your team the most. Not saying they're not going to throw the ball. Of course they will. But I don't think Hunter is going to have a big impact the way some Jaguars fans might hope to see. Yeah, the weather appears to be okay. I don't think there's going to be any rain in this one like some people thought there was going to be. Let's check WeatherBug real quickly. That was a big talking point all week long. Let's see. What time is it right now in Jacksonville? It's 4:30. Yeah, there's no rain in sight for tonight. I think there was earlier in the day. But as far as the weather during the game, I think they'll be just fine. And I would assume, like any grounds crew should do, I assume they have the field covered with the tarp, and they're probably rolling that out now as players are starting to come in shortly. So should be in good condition, the field, that is. True or false, Jawan Taylor has more penalty yards than J-Watt, KT, and Sky Moore have receiving yards as a Chief. It's a really good trivia question. I'm going to say true, because he leads the league in penalties since 23. Since 03. Boy, that'd be quite a career. Yeah, I'm going to say that's true. A lot of your friends from Atlanta are there. Nice. Yeah, how long is the drive from Atlanta to Jax? Injuries are part of sports, no excuses. Yeah, I mean, listen, 2 years ago, the Bengals did not have Joe Burrow for half a season. They actually came pretty close to making the playoffs. And in that same division, the same year, the Browns had a quarterback convention. They got Grandpa Joe Flacco off the street, literally from the couch, and they went to the playoffs with him. Now, did they do much in the playoffs? No. But at least they got to do something that season. And, if you're a quarterback for the Cleveland Browns and you take that team to a playoff game, you're a hero in that city, because not a lot of quarterbacks in Cleveland have been able to do that. How many playoff games has Deshaun Watson led the Browns to after that big fat contract? I don't think he's been able to lead them to any. So, yeah, I mean, you can never. And by the way, Flacco was their fourth string QB that year, fourth or fifth, I don't know. So yeah, you don't ever use injuries as an excuse. The Chiefs, I mean, they had all kinds of injuries last year. Patrick Mahomes had, who was his most experienced wide receiver? DeAndre Hopkins, not all pro DeAndre Hopkins. An aging DeAndre Hopkins who was learning the playbook as he went on. That was his most experienced wide receiver last year. And they found a way to win 15 games. I agree with the injuries, taking the blame for losing, just like blaming a few missed calls by the refs is the only reason why the Chiefs win big games, and not because our team stepped up more when needed. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you don't win, you don't win. And you just gotta listen, you guys know me. And for those of you who've been listening a long time, and some of you have, remember that Marcus Mariota playoff game, the forward progress, and a lot of Chiefs fans blame that loss solely on the forward progress call. I was like, dude, that was a shitty call, but that's not why you lost. I got so much pushback from that. You can't blame that second half collapse on one bad call from the first half. You just can't do that. I've never been a big fan of blaming the refs. All 32 fan bases do it, including Chiefs fans. Obviously, when you're winning, you don't complain about officiating. Is there bad officiating? Yes, I've been saying this for years. All 32 teams deal with it. People think that the teams that win the most favor from bad officiating the most. Okay, I think it's just more of a cause that they win a lot, not because of the officiating, but that's just the way people want to roll. That's what people did with the Patriots for 18 years. That's what they've been doing with the Chiefs for the last few years. And you're kind of seeing it with the Eagles now lately. I mean, sure, they lost, but people have been saying a lot of things about officiating with the Eagles lately. The team that just won the Super Bowl in blowout fashion, unfortunately. And before this loss, they've won 21 of their last 20, something like that. And now they're getting the whole referee narrative. So congratulations, Eagles fans. Now you know how Chiefs fans felt and what they had to hear for a whole year. Imagine that. Greetings from Jacksonville. Shout outs to you, Doug. If Taylor can go 2 consecutive games without a penalty, then I'll go officiate his wedding. Just don't show up too early. Hey-o! I hope so, Justin, but I think ETN, number one, that's their best player, and he's one of the best offensive players this season. Let me ask this question. In terms of just offensive players, who've been like the most standout players this season in the NFL? I can't think of anyone that's like clear cut, like a runaway top tier player. I mean, Puka Nakua's playing really well. Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jefferson. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like there's been like we're not seeing anyone that's like Jamar Chase from last season or Joe Burrow from last season. Stafford and Puka Nakua, like that, the quarterback that's got the most passing yards and the wide receiver with the most receiving yards, but no one's really talking about them as dominating the game so far. In fact, what is the Rams' record? Aren't they 2-2 or 3-2? My bad. They just lost to a banged up 49ers team. So I don't think there's like a clear-cut number one offensive player right now. Obviously, it's too early to even have that conversation, but I think the running backs have honestly been more impressive to me. Travis Etienne Jr. is 5th in rushing yards, and he hasn't even played a game this week yet. Obviously, we'll play in a couple of hours, but he's got 394 yards. If he has 100 yards rushing, and I think there's a very good chance of that, he'll be the league leader in rushing yards going into week 6. So I would imagine Travis Etienne Jr. can have a really good game against Kansas City, and I think could challenge Kansas City for that record of 30 straight games of not allowing a running back to run for 100 yards. That's how good he's been this year. He took a big step back last year. I don't know what the deal was with him last year because I don't think he was injured or anything like that. But man, he's playing lights out this year. He's one of the best. I think he's got the best yard per carry average in the NFL this year. So that's how good he's been. And that's why I think he's going to get 100 on the Chiefs. That's my prediction. I would definitely bet the over. I think the over is 66.5? Yeah, I'm betting the over on that. Yeah, that's what I thought. It rained earlier, but now they're good. So no excuses, right? Because that's what people do. I've noticed a few teams with new design uniforms. Do the Chiefs have any plans to wear? No. Clark Hunt was asked about this before, and he's just zeroed in on the classic uniform that they have. It's like, come on, man, like have a little bit of fun with the unis. I'd love to see an all gold uniform. By the way, what's with the all black? What's with the black jerseys? For like years, the Chiefs have had these black jerseys that you can buy, but I like even with the Lamar Hunt patch on the side. But I've never seen the Chiefs wear black. Now, listen, wearing black is obviously forbidden in Kansas City football territory. Hot take. I actually think, black and silver are pretty damn good colors. I think the Raiders, honestly, if I'm being completely honest, they have one of the best color schemes in the league. But I've never understood what was up with the black, jerseys that people could buy, and then it's not available. Like the team doesn't wear it. I'll never forget the moment D Ford ruined our chance at a Super Bowl in 2019. Yeah, but Kevin, you know me, man. I'm not in on one play that ruins a game. The Chiefs had a lot of things that night. It wasn't just D Ford. Omarion Hampton is going to be placed on IR. By the way, the Lions, they're down 2 cornerbacks. I know we're not even thinking about the Detroit Lions right now, but given that the Chiefs are going to be on a short week, getting ready for the Lions on Sunday Night Football, that's going to be a big deal. I mean, don't you think Patrick Mahomes is going to feast and take advantage of the absences at the quarterback position for the Lions? I mean, you have to. That is significant news from today going into that Lions-Chiefs game. Again, I know we're not focused on that too much right now because we've still got tonight to go, but that is going to be a big talking point when we do the breakdown on the podcast later this week. Yeah, Amon-Ra St. Brown's been pretty good. Dude, he lit up the Ravens that night on last week's Monday Night Football, or the week before. It's supposed to be a red takeover in Jacksonville. This is not like me trying to be insulting or anything, but because I know Jacksonville is not a big, like, how many professional sports teams do they have? Like, how are Jaguars fans perceived? Do they have like a big fan base, or what's the deal there? Because I know the Chiefs, when they visited the Jaguars, there's always a lot of red there. The season opener for 2013, I don't think there were a lot of Chiefs fans there because the Chiefs were coming off a 2-14 season. But 2019, coming off the 2018 season, Patrick's first year as a starter, yeah. There were a lot of Chiefs fans there. Yeah, they are wearing all white. Joshua, yes, you did win a Chiefs Red Friday flag. So, because I'm glad you said something, because I was going to DM you. By the way, the other 2 people who won, Janelle and Jackson, yours went out today. Joshua, yes, you did really win. You were in the top 3. I don't remember where you were, but you were in the top 3. You have not responded. Because my DMs are closed on my page, I need you to respond to my my personal account. So it has a blue check mark. So any other person with my name that does not have a blue check mark, whether it's my page or my personal account, like both my page and my personal account are verified. So if you see a blue check mark, that's not my page, but has my name, please respond to that, because that's me trying to get your info so you can get your flag. So congratulations, you won, Joshua. Speaking of giveaways, you guys have been asking for Facebook giveaways. And I've told you why we couldn't do it. Now we're doing it, okay? Right now, we are giving away a signed football by Chiefs Hall of Famer Deron Cherry. All you've got to do is rank number 1 on the engagement list for this week. How do you rank number 1? By commenting, by liking, by viewing videos like this, by sharing content. That's how you become number 1, if you do it more than anyone else. And you must be following Deron's Facebook page. I will be checking to make sure you're following them. So in order to be able to win, you must rank 1 on my page for engagement, and you must be following the Deron Cherry Foundation Facebook page. So do those things. They've been super generous to us and helping us give away some signed memorabilia. And yes, we do have. Where is it? I'm not gonna go through it because right now it's in a box and there are a bunch of things on top of the box. But we do have a Deron Cherry signed jersey to give away as well later this year. So you guys are behaving and you guys are cool. Yeah, we'll do a nice jersey giveaway this year, signed jersey giveaway. But yes, Joshua, please answer me when you can on your Facebook. Forward with the TD to keep the streak going, Owen. I hope so. That'd be nice. I mean, eventually you're going to see that come to an end because there are so many players to account for They're going to be a lot. I mean, Patrick's just doing a good job of distributing the football like he did last game, and I think he'll continue to do it again. I'll read a couple more here. There have been several out. They've been respectful. That's good. I've just never heard of Jags fans as like they're just never talked about. Amon-Ra St. Brown also on pace to have a strong year. Not sure if that's the breakout, but PFF has him at 90 plus consistently. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That dude's good. He's a really good wide receiver. So that doesn't surprise me. Ravens defense couldn't stop Houston if CJ was in a wheelchair yesterday. Dude, Houston has not been that good this year with CJ Stroud. I mean, they're starting to get going a little bit here. But yeah, the Ravens, unfortunately for them, everyone's having like a really good game against the Ravens now. It's a long season for them. It is. I don't think they're going to recover from this because they have way too many injuries this year. I mean, even Lamar Jackson's hurt. Their only most reliable player is Derrick Henry. And if you're losing by 2 or 3 possessions, your running back isn't really someone that you're going to be using much. So that's just the situation they're in. Jaguars have a lot of fans in the UK. Okay, that's good to know. Their mascot's the best. What is, I mean, their mascot's obviously a Jaguar, but are we bringing back war paint? No, I don't think so. Dude, I hated the timing of that too, because wasn't that in 2020 when there were all kinds of things going on that year? Yeah, that made no sense to me that they all of a sudden like decided not to continue with that tradition. That was weird. Yeah, there's no way. The Ravens, I mean, they're in a bad division, but I think the Steelers are going to be good. Like the Steelers, they were on a bye this week, if I'm not mistaken. So the Steelers are going to probably win that division because the Bengals just look like a mess. And then you have the Ravens are dealing with injuries. The Browns are the Browns. So I think the Steelers are going to win that division, not by like a runaway or anything. But I just think, that's just like if you're the Ravens, you're expected to get Lamar Jackson back at some point. So I would imagine at some point you can probably get the ball rolling. You're going to have to rely a lot on your offense. You might have to score 30, 40 points a game to do so. But I don't know. Oh, the Cardinals, dude. My friend Eddie's a huge Cardinals fan. That was the worst. The interception that they fumbled and it rolled into the end zone for a touchdown. The running back who celebrated too early. People are like, oh, L'Jarius Sneed hustled. I mean, listen, we love L'Jarius Sneed here in KC, but I don't think L'Jarius Sneed did anything on that play. Like, that's just the running back for the Cardinals being... that was just a premature celebration. Larry says the Chiefs are the cheating artists. Dude, grown men who blame the refs, that's never not going to be funny to me. It's never not going to be funny to me. Bengals are always a mess. Yeah, I mean, dude, that fan base, they are like... There's a civil war happening with that fan base right now. Do I prefer all white or all red? You know what's funny? I do not like the Chiefs uniform combo they have, the red and white. I hate that. That does not look good. But whenever they do all white and all red, I love it. It looks way better than red and white. I don't know. Red and white just don't go together. But when they do the all white, all red, that is awesome. Me personally, I like the all red. Red's always been my favorite color. So all red for me anytime. I know a lot of people prefer all white. I guess the Chiefs don't do well in all red. Listen, that's like KU fans, and there are KU fans who truly think this. That's like KU fans saying, oh, whenever we play at T-Mobile Center, we lose. Like, come on. Is that really why KU loses? Because of the venue? Like, come on here. Won't this be Tomlin's 19th winning season? I don't think he's at I don't know the number, but I think his entire time there, and that sounds about right, because wasn't it 20 years ago where the Steelers won? So, yeah, they're going to have a winning season every year with him. I don't think they've ever had a losing season with Tomlin, and they've had some rocky seasons here and there. So I don't know. Yeah, I think the Steelers are going to win that division. I think the Bengals can make it close if Jake Browning can get it together. I mean, he gave him a chance 2 years ago. Their defense isn't as awful as it was last year, but I'm going Steelers in that division. If the Bengals don't figure it out, and if the Ravens don't recover from their injuries, then yeah, it's going to be a run. It's going to be the easiest division in the league. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm Farzin Vasuga. Appreciate you guys joining me for this pregame live chat. I think the players are starting to come in right now as we speak. So just a reminder, at halftime, we will do the halftime live stream. It'll be 10 minutes. Going to be pretty short. And then, excuse me, after the game, we will do the Chiefs Zone podcast live. We will recap the game between the Chiefs and the Jaguars, hopefully recapping Kansas City's third straight win in their first time above 500. I'll have a link for you guys. What I'm going to do is click the link, put in your name, turn on your audio, your video, and we can chat it up afterwards for our post-game show. Once again, I'm Farzin Vasuga. Thank you all for joining me for the pregame live chat. I will talk to you all at halftime. Peace out.